Shalom, Rastafari. This is I, Ras Israel, Sedalia House of Rastafari, coming to you with this next portion. And we're going to be discussing this war which took place between His Imperial Majesty Kidamawi Haile Selassie and between Mussolini, the one who was the fascist leader of Italy. And we're going to be discussing, could this be part of the holy war, the what they call as Armageddon, when they waged war with the land. But before we jump into that, there's a few things that we're going to touch base on before we hop into that. And it's going to be, we all have to have that faith and understanding and knowing that, like John chapter 14 says, in our Bibles here, it says that if you see the Father, this is when Yeshua said it, if you see me, you see the Father. Know that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. Meaning that him and his Father are one. You can check that out yourself. This is in John 14, 1 John chapter 14. And when you read that, you should have that understanding of knowing that yes, they are one. So when we see Abba Kadus, Kedamah Haile Selassie, we know that we see Yeshua HaMashiach, because if we see the Father, we see the Son. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what we have. That's what the Moshiach told us. And this war with Italy, there's a couple things that are interesting with this. The League of Nations, who is supposed to bring global peace, help to bring people together, so we don't have to come to these wars. And His Majesty, actually Haile Selassie, first, he drew up maps, charters for the League of Nations. These same charters and same maps we use today. It's just not under the League of Nations. It's called the United Nations. So that's an interesting piece of evidence there to know, because we can see that as, His Majesty, part of that fulfillment in His Majesty when He established the earth. He established the earth with peace, and he don't make war, but He is the Almighty, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. Psalm 87, and I'm saying this in reference to Psalm 87 because it said, let's go to Psalm 87. I'm gonna read that to let you guys. Okay. His foundation is in the holy mountains. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all dwelling places of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken of thee, O city of God, Selah. And I will make mention of Rehab and Babylon to them that know me. Behold, Philistine, Tyre, with Ethiopia, this man was born there. And of Zion it will be said that this and that man was born in her, and the heights Himself shall establish her. The Lord shall count, when He writeth upon the people, that this man was born there. Selah. As well as the singers, as players on instruments shall be there. All my springs are in thee. That is why I say His Majesty, who was born out of Ethiopia, established the earth, because this was a global thing. This wasn't just Ethiopia for Ethiopia. This was for everyone. Now, Mussolini and Haile Selassie. Mussolini decides to invade Ethiopia. 1935. 1935. And they said there was obviously a few causes to this invasion. You know, read a couple places where it says that Mussolini tried to use Abyssinia, Ethiopia as a scapegoat because of all his problems that he was having in Italy. He couldn't run his own place. Know, but this was you have to remember, Mussolini wanted to bring back the significance, the power of Rome as it was in the days of old when they were messing with David's seed again the first time over 2,000 years ago, when they tried to mock, Yah's son, and say, where's your God, and all this blasphemous stuff, and they were mad because they couldn't understand this man. He wasn't giving taxes to Caesar, because Caesar wasn't the one to be reverenced. You have to remember that Rome at that time, they wanted to be the one to be reverenced. They didn't want God to be reverenced. And the son, of course, he was speaking on his father's will, telling him, this is who needs to be reverenced. The kingdom of God is greater than Caesar's kingdom. Now at that time, Rome, they did their thing. They was global dominance, brute force everywhere they went. And they tried to conform Iron Master Adonai. They couldn't do it. They weren't ready for that power. And he told the people, render what is unto Caesar to Caesar, and give unto God what is God's. Now that's a powerful statement to say to the supposed supreme government at that time. And even had some of I fellow brethren and sisters saying, let's crucify him. But they couldn't understand that this man who they see walking with him, say he's a man that maketh himself God. He's a blasphemer. Let's crucify him, do away with him. And no one was there to help. They paint Pilate was some kind of gracious figure. You know what I'm saying? He was Caesar's puppet. He wouldn't have been all nice to this man. He would have lost his life. His reverence was to him. So for people to already be noticing the Most High Son is a threat to the kingdom of Rome, and for him to be sitting here and say, no, I find this man innocent, that's like saying you turn your back on the king. They would execute you. But anyway, I'm just letting you know that those same ones who they say, the Jews, they killed Yah's son. The 2 9ers that are spoke of in Revelation 2:9, those who say they are Jews, they are synagogues of Satan. They were puppets to Rome, to Roman rule. They weren't elect Israelites. They weren't practicing that, or they would have seen who this man was, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. So then you have 2,000 some years later, Kedemah with Haile Selassie, the root of David, the King of Kings, conquering the tribe of Judah, who proved himself worthy to loose on the 7 seals, is of that Davidic seed, the Solomonic dynasty. Yeah. And so Mussolini, being that ruler, he's like, nah, we're gonna bring this back. We're gonna bring this back. And them 72 nations that witnessed His Majesty's coronation and saw it as a divine coronation. He knew that. So being part of this, he was like, nah, we are the Romans. Christianity is ours. We conform it. We control it. We're gonna bring that dominance back, and we're gonna control Ethiopia. And Ethiopia still is They are a sovereign place. No one runs Ethiopia except for Ethiopia. Africa runs Ethiopia. And Mussolini decides, he's gonna go to Ethiopia. He's gonna do away with this King of Kings. Just like when you keep going back to Rome with Yeshua, just like how they tried to put away Yeshua. But you can't put away God's elect. You can't put down the fulfillment of the order of Melchizedek. It is here to stay. And a lot of people were mocking, saying, His Majesty's not even gonna win this war in little Ethiopia against this big old, weaponry that's advanced and whatnot. But we're gonna find this statement that he gave to the League of Nations. We're gonna find that statement. And on that statement, it's a prophetic statement. And he gave to them because the whole world had turned their back against him. Just like Revelation states. It states us in Revelation that they would wage war with the Lamb. 17:14. And these they shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. Rastafari. Now that's what I was talking about when I was telling you that you have to understand and know in faith that when you see Abba Kadosh, you see the Father. Because Rastafari, Haile Selassie, is the elect of God. Understand that. And we have to remember that Rastafari, Haile Selassie, when he was coronating this name, this holy name, the name of God, the King of Kings, or the Lord's Confidant, the tribe of Judah, Haile Selassie, power of Holy Trinity, he told the world and proclaimed Yeshua's name to the whole world. The only monarch, king I know to do that to all the nations, to humble itself and say, no, that this title, Lord of Lords, is reserved for I and I masters, for Yeshua HaMashiach. Rastafari, Christ in his kingly character, is he who they wage war with. This is part of that battle. Because they came together, the whole world turned their back against him. The whole world. But that's okay, because they felt God's judgment. And still we're feeling it. We're still living in these times that we call revelation. In this speech, he says, I and I, Abba, he says, if a strong government finds it can destroy a weak people, then the hour has struck for the weak people to appeal to the League of Nations to give judgment in all freedom. God and history will remember your judgment. It is us, Ethiopia, today. It will be you tomorrow. It will be you tomorrow. Now, a lot of times they don't tell you that this, when Mussolini invaded Ethiopia, that this was the start of World War II. Yeah. They like to say that it started in 1939, but it really starts in 1935, like I said, with this invasion, this evil invasion, this biblical battle that they would wage war against I and I, Father. So, when I search it and I read it, I find it to be part of this good versus evil clash. The Almighty always tramples the dragon underneath his foot, for the lion prevails, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. So I give praise for this moment, being able to bring this feeling to the people, maybe be able to open one's minds up, you know. But we're gonna come back with some more, and stay tuned. May the Most High be with all of you. Stay rooted in that solid foundation. I'd like to say, Shalom, Rastafari. This is S.H.R.T of Sedalia, House of Rastafari. Bless and love.